Hi, I'm Cindy Abbott, Letro, and this is Behind the Camera. Today we're talking with somebody that really has been here since the bottom floor as far as the beginning of the film industry in Buffalo. Chris Ray is with us, his father, Fred. Combined, I think you, 9 films that you made?
9 films, and I actually got the pleasure to work on The Purge, too. So.
Oh, you did?
I think sitting here thinking about it, yeah. So.
You know, it seems like it's happened overnight, but that's not really true. I mean, when you first came here, there wasn't a lot going on, you know, as far as the film industry goes. Talk a little bit about that, Chris.
The industry here was, I wouldn't say stagnant, but it was still trying to get back on its feet.
Right.
We ended up bringing so many people in when we did Ward's Island, which is now Battle Dogs. We actually took some of the crew that's working now, and we helped train them. I mean, Cash is one of the guys who works in G&E.
G&E is?
Grip and Electric.
Okay.
Sorry. He's just a great example because he's one of those guys who took everything we gave him, and he's just out there running. And he's
but
great.
Why Buffalo? What do you think is, you know, because you've continued to come, it seems like every day there's somebody, you know, inquiring or wanting to shoot, and it's really very active right now.
I think it's the look. I think it's the people, the film commission, the mayor, and I think as a group in a whole, it makes people want to come back.
Now, tell me a little bit about what you're doing now. You start coming up. You're going to be very soon start shooting. You know, what is this process? How did you decide? I mean, you'd already been here, so essentially you've scouted it, right?
Oh yeah.
So, what kind of film will this be?
Again, it's another type of woman in peril thriller.
I know that very well. So.
Well, we start filming next week, and again, the aesthetic and the look of the area really fits in with what we're trying to do. And we're doing, it's kind of a Good Morning talk show, and she's being stalked. And
I can identify with that. That sounds interesting. Now, how do you get the people that work on the program? Do you cast locally? Do you have these people that you bring with you that you cast someplace else? I mean, you know, what are the nuts and bolts of making a film?
We do a little bit of everything. We bring a certain number of people that we bring in that we want to make sure that they're here. And then on this show specifically, we tried to actually do 70 to 80% local. Oh. It's the first time we only brought in half our camera team. We only brought in 1 member here, 1 member there, and hoping to try to get the community back involved since some of the other shows have left, and all the other people that we want to work with are now available. So.
And that's one of the problems
yes.
of the success of what has happened is the fact that there's so much filmmaking going on, is the local crew is busy.
But there are not very many of them.
You're building it.
Yeah, no, we are. And the ones who are busy continue to stay busy. And you know, so we actually have to bring people out. We did a show here a few months ago. We actually had to bring out almost our entire crew.
Wow.
Because people were on The Purge, or they were on, there was another show, I guess, Wolf Boy. And so we ended up with almost our entire crew from LA, but we still wanted to shoot here in Buffalo.
What do you do when you come in? I mean, how long will you be here? How long is the period of time? What do you plan on? You know, it's fascinating to me to think that, you know, you come in here and you also want to feel comfortable and you want to have everything that you need, but, you know, there's a lot that has to be planned.
We do, let's see, about 4 weeks of prep, and usually there's about 2 to 3 of us that are here for the first 2 weeks, and then we start bringing in locals. And then we shoot for 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the project, and then we're here for a week or 2 after that.
Wow. Now, one of the questions that people always tell me to ask is that, you know, if there are kids out there and they say, gee, I want to be in the film. How did you get into this? I think it's probably a little different.
For me, as I say, for me, it's definitely different. My business partner will be on in just a minute with you, and his story is different, but I grew up in this film business, and so from the age of probably 3 or 4 years old, I was on set.
And that your dad is Fred Ray,
yes.
who also has been in Buffalo lots of times.
And it took a lot of poking and prodding to get him to come out here, but then once he got out here, he always wanted to keep coming back. So, but yeah, so from about the age of 4, I'd go to school, go to set, go to school, go to set. And so, and then, you know, I tried to actually get away from this and went and joined the military for 7 years, and it was about 15 years total that was gone. 7 wow. for them, government, and then ended up coming back.
I understand that you've had some great success, that you've won some Telly Awards and Emmy. Tell me about that.
So the Telly Awards were for a film called Circus Kane. It was a horror film that we did, very low budget, but it was a good project. We actually had people from Buffalo come to LA to work on it with us.
Great.
We ended up winning. We won Best Picture, Viewer's Choice, Best Director, Best DP, Art Direction, and Best Editing, and VFX. Those are the
great.
7. The Emmy was won for Best Daytime Digital Drama for a series called The Bay on Amazon. They're in season 4 right now. So that's where we're at right now with those.
You know, it's funny because I've been sort of, you know, nurturing or hoping, you know, to keep the Film Commission going for a long time, very long time. And what's amazing now, it seems like there's more demand for product, for movies, you know, television, whatever, that instead of it shrinking, because people always say, well, sometimes competition can dry things up, it seems as if there's more and more demand.
Well, it's the platforms. The platforms are changing right now. So you've got, you know, you've got your television, you got your theaters, but then you got Netflix and Amazon, and you got new streaming services that are popping up. And so they're all looking for product, and they all want original product. And so I wouldn't say the low budget films are coming back, but they're coming into a genre, and then that genre is being wanted.
Wow.
And that's kind of what we're finding.
Well, if you are someone who grew up in it, like you did, and has a father that's, you know, a producer, director, man of all trades, what would you advise kids that are sort of fascinated by it? They think that this is what they want as a career. Both, give some advice on what's the good and what's the bad.
First off, I always say, stop giving you reasons why you don't want to do it. If this is really what you want to do, stop that, go do it. You hear so many people say, oh, I want to be a writer, but I haven't done it yet. Well, no, you're not. Go write, go shoot, go, you know, get out and do something. That's really what it comes down to, because then you're going to see if you can. And that's really what we hear the most of is, I'm trying to write this script. Well, trying? I mean, are you sitting down and writing it, or, you know? So it's just kind of funny to hear those excuses.
But what should they be prepared for? What's the downside, or what is the part
Long
of it that might
hours.
Well, give me a for instance of what you'll once you start shooting. What's it going to be
18
like?
to 20 hours for me. I sleep 2 to 4
Wow.
because it takes because I'm also producing. So I'll be one of the first people to arrive. I arrive around 5:30, 6 a.m. Call time is 7. We shoot usually till 6:37. Everyone gets to go home by 8. When I get back, I have to go through and review what they did during the day. By the time I'm going to bed, I'm going to bed between 10 and midnight, and waking back up between 3 and 4 in the morning. So it really, and then every day, some days are harder.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot, that's a lot of work. I don't know if I could do that. You know, what's interesting also is that one of the things that, and we may have talked about this the last time that you were in town, we asked what can we do to make sure that we get, you know, more films to come here. And at that time, we weren't able to do too much post-production. Are things changing? Are you seeing that we're going to be able to keep more companies here longer? Because that's really what we want to do.
You know, we're going to find out. We actually are going to use, we're actually using a Buffalo facility for post for the first time ever. And we're going to see how it goes. There's a certain thing that we're used to, and you know, again, it's the first time we've ever done it here, so we're about to find out if they can kind of match and keep up with what we need.
But that's still key.
Oh, you know, the fact that there's something here is very key. You know, we're hoping that it mitigates some of our other expenses by doing it here versus having to send things back. No more FedEx, no more hoping it gets there, no, you know, waiting, you know, so now we literally can hand off a thing in a day and get results in a day versus waiting 3.
How about the idea about the film credits? I just wanted you to comment a little on that, because that's always something where it comes up, you know, every year, you know, in the state, they'll say, well, should we continue film credits?
Without the film credits, we're not coming here. End of story. We actually, of all the films we did here, you hadn't seen us for almost a year. We were waiting to get our credits back. We finally got a film back. Within 3 weeks of getting a film credit, finally, we came back.
I guess you answered it there. Keep the film credits.
Oh yeah, no film credits, we don't come.
All right. Well, great to talk to you again. And we're going to be talking with your business partner.
Awesome.
And we'll be back. All right. Well, we heard Chris's view of what it's like to make a film. Now we're joined by Gerald Webb. And Gerald, just talking to you a little bit, you're a business partner with Chris in this, but you're an actor doing a little bit of everything. How did you get into this?
Well, when I look back, I mean, I was probably a performer when I was a little kid, but then life happens and I ended up working in pharmaceuticals and was really bored and finally was like, hey, what do I really want to do? And started kind of searching my my heart, my soul, and saying, what do I want to do? And said, hey, I always wanted to go do this acting thing, and just made a decision to up and move to LA from Philadelphia and try it, and enjoyed acting, and then said, hey, let's move behind the camera and work a little bit, and met Chris when we were both, he was on his first feature as a director, and I had never done anything much behind the camera, and ended up helping him cast, and it's just grown from there.
It's interesting because I think, kids say, well, I have to go and I, need to get a degree and this and that and the other, but you just, had you taken acting lessons? Did you, most of us think, well, we have to do this, and then we have to do that, and then maybe we'll get in, but it doesn't sound like
Well,
that.
I had performed on some level my whole life, but the truth of it is, I think you just have to do it. Just because I was able to make the transition, I probably wasn't very good at first, and I've had to work hard to get better and better. But I think Chris mentioned earlier, there's no substitute for just doing it. You have to go try it, and you have to be willing to, in this industry, I think, work ridiculously hard, harder than anything I've ever had to do in my life. But you have to kind of put yourself out there and try it. Because sometimes you may try it and realize, hey, this isn't quite what I thought, so maybe this isn't what I wanted. And you'll find out, but you'll never know until you do it. And doing it, I don't ever want to tell people not to get an education. If you can get an education, go great, go get educated.
Right.
But I also think you get an education in this industry by working.
And doing it.
And doing it.
Yeah.
And it can be faster in many ways.
For those that are looking and saying, he looks really familiar, right? You're on Barry, that's on HBO?
Yes, I did a small arc on Barry for season 1 of HBO, and I've been fortunate. I moved to LA 14 years ago, and I've worked a lot. It's almost amazing to say I've been in 100+ films and television shows.
Is it the way you look, the way you act, or?
TV likes me as a cop, so for whatever reason, I play a cop on a lot of things, but that's part of Hollywood. Hollywood kind of wants to take you and put you in a little box that they want to be able to define what you are. And I think there's a little trick as a performer. You have to figure out what box they want to put you in and master it, but then prepare yourself to do other things so that you can hopefully create other opportunities from there.
I was just thinking, you always have people that are, when they have actors, they'll be talking and say, well, I want to direct. Well, actually, though, you did want to do whatever, and you went behind the scenes. And is there a balance? Which do you like more?
For me, the balance is both. For anybody out there that's an aspiring performer, having a seat at the table where the decisions are made is really important. Otherwise, you're always waiting to see if someone else will say, hey, we'll give this person an opportunity. If you start writing or start directing or just start producing, you can at least have a voice and maybe say, hey, I wrote this part for me, and then put yourself in it, or get a director that says, yeah, I love it, let's do it, or at least be at the table to create opportunities for yourself and for others.
One of the shows, the movies that was shot in Buffalo that I just love, and it's campy, but it's so much fun, is that Battle Dogs.
Yeah.
And now, were you involved in helping with that too?
Yeah, so the funny thing is that was my first film in Buffalo that I never actually came to Buffalo for.
Oh, no.
I was back in the office in LA, and I was fortunate enough to go find all of those actors that we brought to town, like Dennis Haysbert and
He was really
Sheffer,
a great cast. It was fun.
And Ernie Hudson, and my job was basically to go get all those deals done to get all those great people to join the film. So it was weird because that was my first Buffalo experience, but I was never on the ground in Buffalo for that movie.
You're getting ready to start another film here, and it's being shot in Buffalo. What happens in the days preceding? What are the things? Is there like a big list that you go check, 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 or, and hopefully you're able to check it off? But, what do you go through? Yeah,
well, there's a huge list that gets delegated to the team. So, there's a bunch of stuff that Chris handles, and then we have our team members like Allison, who comes on board, and she handles a lot of things. And early on for me, it's really about casting. So the first thing I'm out doing is trying to find some recognizable, hopefully star-level names that we can put in to anchor the cast. And then it's about me finding people that can fill in all the other roles in the cast. And some of that is done out of New York City, some of that is done out of LA, and some of that is we audition local people here to try and fill in as many roles as we can. Once the cast is kind of set, then I kind of step into a different role where I'm doing everything from dealing with any talent issues, making sure everybody's taken care of and there's no problems and contracts are right and all those kind of things. And then really be of service to the production. So if that means on a given day I have to get talent to set, I'll get talent to set. On another day, if that means I have to go and secure a location that we had to change or there might be an issue with, I might have to go do that. It's kind of like look ahead and eliminate problems before they happen, hopefully.
Well, what's great is that title, business manager. It encompasses a whole lot. But it all does boil down to making sure that the business and the bottom line is right. Well, it's been great talking to you. I hope they have a good shoot here in Buffalo, and that you'll be racking up more awards. It sounds like things are doing very well. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. We're really happy to be back in Buffalo.
Great, and we hope that you'll join us on the next edition of Behind the Camera.